chosen by destiny.
But in the end,
there can be only one.
Welcome, everyone. It's time once again. It's Friday for the indie comic book showdown of Ultimate Destiny. And with me, as always, is Smurf. How are you doing, Smurf?
What is up? Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. We got people joining. Make sure you share this out on Facebook, on all the different platforms. Let people know that we are live. In fact, while you're telling me what's going on with you, Smurf, I'm going to make sure that we're shared out on the social medias.
It has been a wild week. We did the toy drive to benefit Hope Kids, based in Castle Rock, and it was a hit. Breckenridge
Nice.
Brew was kind enough to host us last weekend. So many toys. We had carolers, dude. I have never had carolers at a toy drive. It was absolutely awesome. So we're going to be back again this weekend. Breckenridge Brewery is doing their holiday market. So we will be there Saturday and Sunday. We will have Santa again. If you are not interested in doing that, our buddies over at Vault 35 are doing their show, and Don has put a lot of work. I think you're going to be at that event.
I will. In fact, I got a special story about that show.
Sweet. So I'm unfortunately not going to be at the Vault show. I feel bad because I love that show. Don and I have a fun little relationship, and I also have something to announce for that as well. Because Don, I'll just tell you guys now. If you do not know, I do a top 5 comic book every Wednesday. What are the top 5 books hitting the stands? Over the last few years, it's been All Seas that has been our sponsor, but it is official starting in January that Vault 35 will now be sponsoring the top 5. So we will be doing some new stuff, something different to reflect our new sponsorship with Vault 35. So we're excited. I'm excited and happy to have a new sponsor. It's been a while since I've been on this road. All Seas has been sponsoring the top 5 for about 7 years now. So,
nice.
Something a little different. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, my story is that, as you know, I teach at college. I teach graphic design and comic books, and one of my classes took on the task of designing the flyers and the promotional material for this upcoming event for Vault 35. And so every student in the class got all the debriefing of all the things that were necessary, what size formats, all that good stuff, and then went to task. And this is really one of their very first real world projects, because most of these students were like first or second semester. And so I'm going through and kind of helping them, making sure that everything is there. But they really impressed me. They did a great job. And then Don ended up actually choosing 2 different students. And so shout out goes to Hannah and Jade, who ended up being the chosen ones. And so one of the ones is very much more Christmassy and ends up being on all the tables throughout the mall and all their flyers. And then there's a really bigger poster that we'll see outside around the mall that the other student, Jade, made. So I was really proud of them, and love to give them the opportunity to do some design work, because a lot of times when they're putting on these shows, especially comic shops, they've got a lot to try and do, and so they end up needing help, and we got to help each other out, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So yeah, looks like we got some returning fans here. Dead Cosmos, Josh is always here, still first as usual. That's right. And then Mr. Fish is with us. Mr. Fish is an amazing artist and comic book creator. This guy has cranked out, you can correct me, Mr. Fish, but I don't know, it's like over 100 books in the last few years, between books he's done for himself, books he's done for other people. And so now he's got a little bit of extra space in his schedule to work on someone else's book. So go get a hold of it. If it's one thing we could say, he is efficient and fast and cranks out books.
And you know what? That is harder to come by than anyone really truly realizes. Trust me.
There it is. 120 books. He's done. Yes.
All right.
So it's an amazing artist. Go check him out and see what he can do. It's pretty amazing. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is before we dive into all the comics on the Showdown is has anybody watched the first 4 episodes of the new Stranger Things season?
Yep. Okay. So without any giveaways.
Spoiler free, man. Spoiler free.
Yes. Whoops. Who do you think's going to die? All right, because I'm taking the death toll as far as I'm betting who's going to kick it. And I don't know. I'm really curious because they've been like alluding to like so many different characters that could potentially just die. And I love the setup in the mountains.
There were a lot of moments in those first 4 episodes where it looked like they were about to do it. Someone was going to sacrifice themselves, and then something would save the day. Some sort of those ex machina type of thing. Like for a second there, I thought that who was the one that was in the tunnel and he was going to save the other kids. I thought he was like facing off against one of the Demogorgons by himself.
The black kid.
Yeah, he's standing there face to face with this Demogorgon. I'm like, he's gonna,
he's done,
sacrifice himself, and then he's dead.
We saw what a Demogorgon can do to a Goonie. I mean, let alone what they're gonna do to this poor kid.
Right.
So I mean, but I'm starting to take because I honestly thought Hopper. I was like, oh, here it goes. Hopper gets clipped by a bullet, and then he goes. I mean, that poor man just takes a beating every episode.
I know.
So I'm just waiting, but I don't know who's going to die. I love that the cave that they're in looks like Land of the Lost, like old school 70s.
So there's 2 things that have left me just dying for more. Number one is it's very. I've had a couple of discussions about this. I know if Jenny's listening, and we had a discussion about this. That like the Upside Down is a tangible place. They go to it, right? But yet, the 2 girls that are in the cave are not physically there. They are in his mind because she's laying in a coma, sitting in a hospital, and she says that she's been going through all of his memories, and so this other girl that Holly, she shows up. She's also in his mind, and so it's like. Some of this is taking place in his mind. Some of it isn't. It's pretty difficult.
Very metaphysical, very trippy, very wild.
Here's my biggest, most exciting takeaway. That season, these 4 episodes had, I counted at least half a dozen nods to Back to the Future.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we're going to do some time traveling at some point here.
Well, and they even hinted at it with the under the sea dance thing where they're in the school back when they were kids.
Yeah, and they show the list. If you look at the flyer, all their names are on there. Some of these people should know who Henry is because they went to school with him. But yeah, did you notice that when they're trying to chase the Demogorgon that had the tracker on it, and the guy's in the back of the van, and Steve's driving, and he waits until it gets to 88 and then says go. And I was like, all right, that's nod number 1. Then there's a lot of talk about the flux capacitor.
The flux capacitor cracked me up. That was it was so well done. Cracked me up.
I'm hoping that there's a payoff to that they're going to do some time traveling and they're not just dangling Easter eggs for no reason, but we'll find out.
I mean, the next episode comes back Christmas Eve. So we'll have a couple.
Next episode comes out on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, pardon me.
I think it's Christmas
It's
Day. I
Christmas
don't know.
Day.
You can do it.
Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve will
And then
be
New Year's.
the wrap up. So, and the rumor was, and I don't know where this story ends because I haven't seen it yet, but they were talking about a theatrical release on New Year's Eve for the last 2 episodes. So you could actually go to like an AMC and see the final episodes. But I don't know
Yeah,
if that
which I
deal
mean, I'm
worked out.
hoping you might have just said this, but like I know they're going to release it in theaters, but
Mhm.
they're also releasing it on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it'll be simultaneously.
Because there's no way I'm going to go spend extra money on New Year's just to go see the end of a show,
I
unless
mean,
it's like really, really good.
it depends on what kind of cliffhanger we are left with on Christmas Day. Because
I suppose.
if it's, I don't even know what if I want to do New Year's Eve. To be honest with you, I mean, I know some parties have been canceled. I don't want to be out downtown. I just, you know what? If this is the way, and then so be it. I'm just gonna drown my sorrows in buckets of popcorn and ices.
Well, I will say, speaking of movies, and then we'll transition back into talking about indie comics. November was a bad month for the movie industry. Almost every single thing they put out bombed in financially terms. Even the one that everyone seems to be really liking, the new Predator movie.
Predator.
Didn't make as much as it needed to succeed because they spent so much money promoting it. And everything else, like some of these movies were popping out like $10-12 million opening weekends.
Here's a sad fact for you and for the theaters. The only movie that made money that they consider a success this year is the Lilo and Stitch live action.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Are you saying that Minecraft?
Minecraft is second.
Okay.
But the top film is Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. I mean,
out of all of those films and a remake, I mean, I don't even think
that's just going to perpetuate. That's just going to perpetuate Hollywood to keep doing remakes. Like
it might perpetuate Disney. I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, at least Universal can kind of say they had a sort of success with Predator. It did better than anyone thought it was going to, but it's still, I think, a very, very astounding, incredible film. I thought it was great.
So, here's some feedback from Benjamin about that. He says, I think people being tired and broke has something to do with it. I absolutely agree with you. I think there's more to it than that. I think yes, people are they're struggling financially. The market's not doing well. They're tired of dealing with a lot of things. They're tired of rehashed movies. But I think honestly, people going to the cinema and the theaters has never recovered since COVID. No. It has never bounced back to what it was. People are like, man, I've got a pretty large TV and a pretty nice stereo system, and I can sit in the comfort of my own home with popcorn. Why do I need to pay $50 to go see a movie when I can just do all that at home? It costs so much. And I think that's really the bigger problem is that the other thing is too, like most people know, if I don't see this in the theater, it's going to be out streaming within weeks. Whereas,
I mean, it is literally weeks.
Yeah.
Some are the same weekend. You can pay for, if you want to buy it now, and I think I don't know if it's Amazon, but it's like all the different, like even Peacock and Paramount Plus, you can buy it now and rent it and be done with it. We are seeing the death of cinema. I mean, I've even talked about it in my movie reviews for the few that I've reviewed, because there literally nothing has come out between COVID, the writer's strike, the actor's strike, and it's just you're seeing theaters close up. That it hurts. I remember Friday night was always movie night. We would go and see whatever new movie was coming out, and now we've got membership. We're like, popcorn buckets. That's where the money's at. Popcorn buckets.
Yeah, spend $30 on this popcorn bucket that you're going to use once and then put in your closet and probably never use again. Yeah, I know my friend Rio. He's got like a half a dozen or a dozen different popcorn buckets that people have given him for gifts.
Mhm. I've got a stack of them. I mean, I even picked up the Tron one that looks like our game cabinet. I love it. It is awesome.
Well, to create a segue into what this show is all about, some of the films that are doing really well, not necessarily in theaters, because I think theaters are going to struggle no matter what, but in the streaming platforms are shows and movies that are driven by a particular creator's vision. Someone who's like, I want to create this thing, and they get the resources together and they do it, rather than these big corporate things like, Disney and Marvel and DC, where you've got all of these contributors who are contributing financially, saying, hey, wait, make sure you include this, make sure you put Coca-Cola product in there, make sure you mention this, make sure you have a lot of diversity and every different racial culture in your film, even though it's about Scotland, things like that. And next thing you know, you don't have this original vision, but the indie films are doing really well on the streaming medias because they're good storytelling. And in comics, we have some of those same situations. We have people who have a vision and they want to tell their stories. Dirk is with us. He's one of those people. He got a lot of great storytelling, but that's where we're going to see a lot of these ideas turn into films, because they lean into looking for their ideas in the indie market. So if you have an idea, comics is a good place to sort of cultivate whether or not it can get a following and get it going. Some ideas work better than others, but.
And I think we've seen a lot with that, because like the Magnificent Nine or whatever, that new animated one from the Critical Role guys, Vox Machina group, you all the voice actors are the same. They're just in different bodies, which is kind of disjointing. It's like the magician is the elf from last series, so it's kind of fun. But I mean, it is probably the most original and grounded of the storytelling. I mean, and I'm gonna make Dirk feel a little bit happy. Dirk is an amazing storyteller, and he is about the story. He's about all of that. For every one Dirk, there's 10 Marvel wannabes, and it sucks. The writing is not where it needs to be, and they're looking anywhere to find stories. And I think indie comics is going to be that answer moving forward, but it's a long walk through some dark woods to get there, in my opinion.
Well, that's something that we were discussing before the show a little bit, but like, because indie is indie, and with indie film, you have to invest some money to even do an indie film. You got to have cameras and microphones and actors and all this stuff. So you still need to have an investment. So you got to be pretty sure that you've got a strong message, a strong story, you believe in it before you're going to start basically putting your whole life savings into this project. With comics, because of all the tools that are available, people can put out comics and put out their idea without a huge expense, especially with Kickstarter. And not all of them are great. And so what we're going to run into is that there's going to be, there already is a ton of all these indie comic books. And like you were saying, you kind of got to dig through the weeds, and there are some gems in there. And then there's some trash in there. And
there's some truffles.
You got to kind of dig through there and find the difference, right? I'm sure Benjamin can relate. Benjamin reviews, I think, just about every single indie comic that comes out, on the crowdfunding platforms. He's really diligent about hitting as many as he possibly can. So I'm sure he's seen the full gamut from really awesome to really terrible. But we want to encourage even the really terrible ones to get out there. The thing I would encourage, though, is to just because you have an idea doesn't make you a writer. Get out there and take some writing classes, learn about writing, study writing. Same thing with artists. A lot of artists are very fresh and green, and you got to start somewhere. But
Well, yeah, I
get
mean,
some advice, get
experience.
some feedback, get some professionals to look at your work and say, hey, this should, this doesn't make sense. You have a person facing the wrong way and things like that. Somebody that can, be honest with you.
Well, and that's the other part of it. You can't be so thin-skinned, okay? One thing in this industry, you have got to have a thick skin. You have to be able to take constructive criticism at its value, all right?
Yeah.
These people that, you know what, just because they're being honest does not mean they don't like you.
Yeah. When I was first getting into this industry, a lot of the times your only shot at getting feedback, you could go to a convention and meet with these bigger names. And I just spaced his name. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but he's one of the names, Neil Adams. That's his name. I can remember going, it was me and my buddy Errol C., who's also a great artist. And he said, let's go over to Neil and show him our portfolios. And we go over there, and the first words out of Neil's mouth is, yeah, I'll look at your portfolio as long as you don't mind me telling you it's shit. Right out of the gate, before he even looked at it. And he's like, yeah, it's shit. And the thing is, a lot of people take that and they just get upset and they fight it. And the thing to do is be like, okay, cool. Why is it shit? Tell me, how can I learn? How can I grow? Because they've seen it all, and they get to the point where they're just like, I have no time to sugarcoat, this. If you're going to get in this industry, it's a tough industry. You should know now, right now, not have anybody sugarcoat it.
Well, and it was funny because Jim Shooter, the great Jim Shooter, he used to do portfolio reviews. And one of the things that he would do is draw me a doorknob, draw me a chair. I want to see backgrounds. Not everything is an action pose. You're trying to tell a story. And to the feed's thing, nothing beats bad art than a bad story. So I mean,
right.
there has to be a story, and you have to be able to tell that not everything is an action pose. And
right.
Last week we had, not the talking heads, and we saw two very different ways of the talking heads and how it worked in one and how the other one was, it could polish up a little bit. There were some opportunities, but there are so many ways to learn and draw a chair, draw me a window, draw a doorknob. And that was Shooter's, those are the words that I walked away with, okay, that's a good point.
Right. And Dirk just said something that you're just saying the same thing with art, is that if you want to be a better writer, read all kinds of things. Same thing with art. If you want to be a better artist, draw all kinds of things. I've seen some comics that have pretty clean, well-crafted art, but every single pose is some sort of, super pose. And it's like, where's the person just, eating from a fork and a knife, where's the pose of them, handing something to somebody else, or just doing normal things, because not every person doesn't walk around, in these super power poses with every muscle.
Yeah, there's not fog everywhere you go. There's not a creepy mist that surrounds your character's ankles and wrists.
Right. I saw a book just
Eric Larson is exactly who I was going for.
He can be pretty harsh too. So my question, Mr. Fish, would be, did he tell you why it sucked? Because that's the thing. A lot of people run away as soon as somebody well-known says this is terrible, and they just go off crying and sulking. But if you want to grow, the first thing you got to do is be like, all right, cool, thank you. Why does it suck? And if you have the ability to show that tenacity of I'm not going to give up, so you might as well tell me, that they're going to give you a lot more respect. They're like, all right, maybe you do got what it takes to be in this industry, So it's great details, shot down all my excuses. Yeah, that's another thing. I have that happen with my students a lot. They'll start throwing out excuses before you even say anything. You lay the book down, and they're like, so on this one, the reason it looks like that is because of this. And I'm like, just shut up. Let me look at it.
Let it speak.
Stop trying to make excuses. Right. Yeah, I saw one the other day that was it was a sniper, and the sniper was up high up in the air, and they were aiming down this way, and through the scope you see all this train of cars coming at them like a procession of presidential cars or something, right? And they're all coming at him. And next thing you know, they cut to a shot from inside the car where you see the bullet go through the back of the head. And I'm like, wait, you just showed me the front view of all these cars coming there. Like, how did that happen? And one of those things, like, it was decently drawn, but it was like, it took me out of the story because I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. And I tell my students, that's kind of like when you're watching Game of Thrones and you see a Starbucks cup sitting on the table. You're like, wait a minute. And you stop listening to what's going on in the show. You're paying attention to the coffee cup. So those little continuity things are why there are editors. And a lot of indie comics don't have editors. They just have a single person doing their thing. So Mr. Fish says, doesn't matter how much they paid or how much the client sucked. All the reader sees is the art and your name. Mm-hmm. You won't be standing over their shoulder to make excuses. That's right. Benjamin says, disjointed action sequences are confusing. They can be, yeah. And we talk about my class, for my comic class, I tell my students, like, this isn't about learning how to draw, because once we get the layout, you can go find a reference and trace over it for all I care. What we care about is the panel by panel telling a story that makes sense. And that's what our goal is visual storytelling. Always get an editor. Dirk, that's a great tip. That's a great tip. Editors are a lifesaver. So with that said, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at 3 indie comics. We're going to look at their pitch, how they're pitching their comic, what they're saying to us that makes us want to get to the comic, not necessarily anything about the comic itself, because we haven't seen it yet, just the pitch. Mr. Fish says, a paid editor is willing to hurt your feelings. That's right. I'm going to go pay somebody to hurt my feelings. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Or you can just sit here and let me look at it.
All right. We are going to slide on over to the Wheel of Destiny.
Because nobody cares about your feelings.
Nobody cares about you.
Nobody cares
about you. Here we go. We've got the Wheel of Destiny here. We got a few less this week because that was my fault. I didn't get on the ball and get out there and promote it this week. And being weeks before Christmas, a lot of people's campaigns have come to a close. This is a more challenging time to do comic campaigns because people are buying presents and going out of town and traveling to family. And so they're holding on to their money a little bit more. So we're going to see which ones we end up with today. On the list, we've got Tales of Mr. Reed. This is Dirk's comic. Musa, Lion of Mali, which is doing really well. I'm anxious to hopefully get to see that one. Conquer the Galaxy or Die Trying. It's a fun sounding name. Excuse me. We got a book called Floaters and a book called Kringle, which I'm, sure has something to do with Christmas. We'll find out. So, are we ready to see who is first and spin that wheel?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go!
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny!
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Time to spin the wheel. Let's do it. Number 1 is gonna be. Looks like the winner's gonna be Kringle.
Kringle it is.
All right. Congratulations on that. Let's go ahead and jump on over to this town. So far, so good. Where was the pop-up? As soon as I switched it. It's not just... I'm just going to have to stop assuming it's going to let me switch over anymore and just close and reopen each one. Yeah. There we go. All right, let's switch down to this view so we can see a bit more. Let's put the chat on so that people can chat as we go over here. All right, our first one up for the day is Kringle. It's got 605 out of $1,000 goal, 15 backers with 19 days to go. That's a lot of time left to hit goal. Feeling pretty good about that. 19 days, 19, 20, 20. That's like Christmas Eve.
That is Christmas Eve.
Right on.
Maybe it was planned that way with the Kringle name. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
Clever marketing. Okay.
We'll find out. All right. The title says Kringle. The tagline says the Yuletide Wrecking Ball. What does that mean to you guys?
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. Right?
You threw a Yule log through someone's window? I don't know.
I don't know. So, I feel like that is probably our first point of area that could be improved for people to give them something to go on. We've seen some pretty awesome taglines up there that already had our whistles wetted as it goes. And this one leaves me wanting more. I don't really know anything yet.
Well, and to your point, it's one thing to be clever. Okay, and trust us, we try to be as clever as possible. But sometimes you can be too clever that the inside joke isn't as obvious to the Joey Bag of Donuts guys out there. That all of a sudden they're like, "What is this? This doesn't mean anything." I mean, yes, being comic book nerds, we could probably figure it out. But you want to cast as wide a net as possible, so that tagline, that hook, is the single most important part to start your campaign. And this, I don't know what it means. I don't care. Next.
Next.
All
right. So under Kringle, we've got a video. Let's see if we get some more information from the video.
From the diabolical minds of Zeke Hansen and Tyler Layton, and the decisive strokes of the Hungarian Badesh, comes a new twist of the classic Christmas tale, Kringle. For every Chris, there is a coal.
Forged through fire, bound by blood.
What the hell just
Coal
happened?
isn't something you find in your stocking. If you make the naughty list, Santa can't save you anymore. If you're looking over your shoulder, you're looking in the wrong direction. Order your copy of this Yuletide Wrecking Ball today to get a special delivery by Christmas Day.
Man, Mr. Fish said it. This is going to cover up our faces for a second, but I want to highlight this comment. After the campaign, the book has to travel the globe real quick. If this campaign ends on Christmas Eve, and he just said, have this book by Christmas Day. That's some magical stuff going on right there. How's he pulling that off?
Unless this is a digital only campaign?
That could be.
That was what my takeaway was. After all of that and the weird audio trip thing that just happened, maybe this is a digital campaign, and that's the only way I could see you getting this by Christmas, because that polar bear is not that fast. I mean, top land speed of a polar bear is maybe 10 miles an hour.
Okay, so once again, people, this show is about the delivery. Like, how are you getting people hooked into buying and wanting to read your book, right? So far, we got a name, Kringle, which we're all familiar with. We've got a title that says the Yuletide Wrecking Ball that doesn't really give us any sort of context. I don't know if that means it's a horror or what's going on. Then we get into the video, and I get a very soft, somber kind of delivery from the narrator. I'm going to turn the audio down here. And I don't really know a whole lot about what's going to happen. It says, you've all heard the stories of Kringle, and this is the story of a different Kringle. Okay, but what about it, right?
What is it? Mm-hmm.
And so we see some work here. And I don't know, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. We're seeing a lot of this now in these videos where they're using AI to make things move like this. After Effects has been able to do this for decades. My very first Mythica book was animated from my comic book panels in After Effects, but it was all hand done. Like we had to go in there and morph things and move things around ourselves. So what do you guys think about utilizing the AI as a tool, putting your mindset in the fact that you're an indie creator, you don't have a lot of money. If you were going to pay someone to do this, it's probably going to cost you $1,000 or more. So this is giving some life to your artwork. Is it worth it? Is it selling the book? Is it doing that much? What do you guys think? What do you think, Smurf?
I think it can sell the book if it's done correctly. At the end of this, I mean, I don't know anything more than what I did going into it. I mean, the animation is great, but it didn't tell me a story. I mean, to focus on what we've been talking about, I don't know what's going on. Why is Santa riding a polar bear? Is he Krampus? I mean, I don't know. There's no context for what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And the voiceover is melancholy at best. There's no energy. It's just, I want to know more, but I'm not getting what I need from a video that the AI be damned. I mean, you're working on a budget. I get it. But if you're going to use it appropriately.
Right. So, yeah, this is the thing. Like this book, the artwork, like this shot right here, that's a nice looking piece of art. Your story could be great, but right now we have no clue and we don't know that yet. And that's why the pitch and the delivery is so important. Mr. Fish says, in terms of the animation, and he's not a fan, pan and over the images would feel better. I'm tired of my animation being accused of being AI because of how present it is, I think is what he meant. So yeah, agreed. Like it's I could recreate this in After Effects and people would think it was AI. You know, it's like I put in hours worth of work making this thing animate. And I know Mr. Fish does a lot of that stuff, whether it's in After Effects or some other program. And yeah, then people are like, oh, you used AI. No, I spent hours working on it. Thanks. It's like, I feel like all of us creators now are having to post videos showing us making our own work just to prove that we made our own work now.
Your own COA, baby. Your own COA.
Yeah, we're having to like credit ourselves all because of the AI stuff is around. So yeah, and having gone to school for animation, knowing a lot of animators, I know this means that they're not getting these jobs either. So that bothers me a little bit. But I mean, I get it. Like it's free. It's out there. You can drop your stuff in there and suddenly it comes to life and it looks cool. And I've been tempted myself to want to see what my characters look like, you know, animated.
Don't give in to the temptation.
Right.
Don't give in. Anyway, so what else have we got on this? So
far we still don't know a whole lot. Let's get down to the
anything.
story. You guys can't see it, so let me change the thing up here. We can see they're not using any of the drop-down points over on the left. It says, welcome to Kringle, a Yuletide wrecking ball of a story where we learn that coal isn't something you get in your stocking. In this story, coal is spelled coal, C-O-L-E, and every Kris Kringle is bound to their own. What? I don't know. They take out the trash, they do the dirty work, they cover the naughty list. Over the 26 pages of this issue, you'll be able to venture through a new version of the old story you only thought you knew. Santa isn't on the other team, he's part of the same team. Two sides of the same coin. If Kris is full of jolly and cheer, coal is the reason the season runs red, if you catch my drift. I don't, actually. I'm a little confused. I don't know what this means. In the story, coal is spelled coal, C-O-L-E, and every Kris Kringle is bound to their own. It's one of those inside joke things, or part of the story that I don't know yet. So,
again, you're too clever. You gotta dumb it down, because so we're dealing with multiple Kris Kringles, which have their own coals. And they're playing on, you get coal for your stocking. Again, being clever, I get that one, but there's like a lot of in the writing, and it's just no.
So
dumb
again,
it down.
when it comes to the pitch, you got to get to the basics, right? Every single story is about someone trying to achieve something and something else stands in their way. It could be, nature stands in their way. It could be a villain that stands in their way. Something stands in their way. And our question is left, will they or won't they succeed in getting the thing that they're after? And so when you're making the pitch, if you stick to those basic points, we're going to understand what's going on. All the other stuff is the spices that you add into your story. That comes when we read the story. We'll get that part when we read it, right? So stick to the basics. What is this? Like, I don't even know if there's a main character yet.
Because there's a bunch of Coles, evidently, and they're all tied to Kringle.
Yeah, like every Kris Kringle is bound to their own Cole, Cole. They take out the trash, they do the dirty work. So I don't know who's the protagonist, what they're trying to achieve. I'm missing a big section here.
Can you stop Cole? Can you use him to warm your fire? Can you?
All right, now here's the biggest thing. I think the biggest flaw I've seen in this so far. Despite all the things that we've talked about, I know it seems like we're hitting this magazine hard. I feel bad about it, but we've got up here a video that showed us a couple of clips, but we still don't know what the story is about. Down here, we don't know what the story is about, and then we're out. There are no preview pages of this book. There are no preview pages of the cover. That's a big hard no for me. Yeah, especially when you're saying I'm going to have this by Christmas. You should already have it done. Yeah, like I should be able to see some of these previews. So that's a big hard X when it comes to whether or not I'm going to purchase a book if I can't see it. And I know Benjamin's out there; he feels the same way. We got to see what I'm getting before I buy it.
So this isn't their first campaign, yet it feels like a first campaign. Yes, and we hope it isn't our last. I'm okay. I don't. You're trying to sell yourself instead of your product. Okay.
So I mean, I would say that this thing needs some love and attention. As Mr. Fish says, it feels like an idea more than a finished book. I wouldn't feel safe backing, and that's honestly one of the best ways you could word this. There are a lot of scams out there, whether they're in the comic industry or any other industry. Right now, I've seen a ton of these like super decorative sweaters, and they're like, I actually was watching the Corridor Crew video where they went and purchased some of these things online, and it's just a sweater like pattern printed on a vinyl shirt. And that's what you're getting instead of an actual sweater. And so, yeah, people are getting scammed left and right. The AI is making people nervous. And so one of the biggest things you can do with a campaign is make people feel safe, make people feel like there's credibility, like they're going to get what they're paying for. And not only is that good for you, but it's good for our whole industry, because the more people back something and feel like something went wrong, the more they're going to back out of crowdfunding altogether, not just your campaign, but ours too.
I don't know how they have raised the money that they have.
I mean, they had a few books before that were successful, so maybe we had that. But there's only 15 backers, so that's like a strong group of friends right there.
Yeah, that's your local comic book store, guys. I don't see it going much lower.
Pendragon Inc., whoever you are, if you see this video, heed our warnings. Go in there and make some quick changes. Try to show more, tell us what's going on. Give us some covers, give us some interior art, and I feel like you're going to get more backers. You might be able to hit your goal if you jump on it right away. But that brings us back to the wheel of destiny.
The wheel.
Right? Let's go here. Let's go here. I got to do them all individually now. I can't just jump from one to the other like I used to. There we go. Next up on the Wheel of Destiny is going to be number 2 is Musa. Musa.
Ooh, say it again.
Musa. Lion of Mali. All right. Pull this up on the other screen. There it is. All right. Stop sharing that one. Oh, not you. I took you off the screen for a second. This is why I need our old friend to come in here and push all the buttons.
Super producer Ray.
Super producer Ray. We miss you, Ray. All right. Here it is. Musa. Now, this is a stark contrast from our last campaign. This campaign's raised $11,941 with a goal of $10,000, which is a pretty lofty goal.
That is a very lofty goal.
Not so. Just to interject, as I was looking at some other campaigns this morning, I came across a campaign. You guys can look it up for yourself, called Wolves of Winter, a 250-page graphic novel. And their goal is $43,000 for that one book. And they're only at like 20% of the way there with 6 days to go. That's a lot of money to raise. But this one here has hit their goal. They have 191 backers, 10,000 goal, and they still have 22 days left. So they've crushed it pretty hard. Now I do feel like this is because this may have a strong following already. We'll find out. I don't really know for sure, but we're going to find out. So let's treat this like any other campaign. Musa, Lion of Mali, 120-page historical fantasy epic. I want a big graphic that comes up every time we say the word epic. Epic. All right. The tagline says, Musa, the wealthiest man in history, steps off the pages of legend in this epic tale of family, magic, and empire building. So the wealthiest man in history steps off the pages in family, magic, and empire building. All right. That one's got more information than our last one did, for sure. Could it be polished even more? I think so, but still telling me a lot more than the last one did. All right, let's see what this video tells us. Wait a minute. It's 3 minutes and 30-second video. So when you guys are ready, somebody, wave your hand in the air or tap out on the chat, whatever. Maybe it'll engage us for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know.
You never know.
Let's find out. That's the sound effect. Great looking art.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is TJ Sterling, and I'm here with my writing partner and co-creator of Musa, Lion of Mali.
Ade Hiru. Hi, everyone. Giant Killer Press.
We are super excited to bring to you our very first collaborative project, Musa, Lion of Mali. It is a 120-page graphic novel, African historical fiction, fantasy, sword and sorcery epic about the one and only mythical, legendary Mansa Musa.
History's richest man, a man who traveled the continent of Africa and beyond, depending on the stories you hear, and changed the lives of millions in doing so. Not only in his time, but in the times that followed. This man built schools, he built mosques, he ruined economies by flexing on folks. And we thought, who better to tell a story about than this guy?
This book is the first 100 pages of what is a planned 500-page story. So this is book one
of 5. In this first 100 pages of the story, we're looking at Musa in his young life. He's a young noble, and Musa is really fighting these battles in a Mali that is expanding, that is growing. On the flip side of that battle, we find our antagonist, White Aminata, who's a pirate queen, who, like a few characters who meet in the story, doesn't have the highest opinion and regard for Musa and his family. And so this is the 100 pages of watching their fight unfold, of watching their ideals clash, and of watching this beautiful version of Mali and West Africa that we've had built.
And just like Musa, guys, we put our money where our mouth is. With this project, this is a 120-page graphic novel that we produced before coming to you here at Kickstarter. And all we need your guys' help with is printing this book and marketing it to the masses. This is an incredible character and an incredible graphic novel that we're very, very proud of. Here on this Kickstarter, you guys are going to be able to get not only access to the standard cover by Wellen Nomo, but a wraparound cover from Karen Grant. You're also going to be able to get t-shirts, some exclusive merch, and you're going to be able to get access to digital copies of this book in the entire collection of the Ray Media titles. That includes Shattered Visions, Joystick Angels, Okemos, and Okemos Dark History. So we want to get this book in your hands, and we feel that we can do that faster than most because this book is already completed.
And TJ's being a little modest. We have a lot more in store for you folks. We want to delve deep into some stretch goals and really push and swing for the fences. This is a great IP, a great world that we've built. We can't wait to bring it to you live and direct.
Just to quickly touch on stretch goals, guys, because Musa was about financial literacy in a way, we want to bring as our biggest stretch goal a financial literacy course that allows you to learn a lot more about money and learn a lot more about financial resources, financial health and wealth, and get into the right mindset, the Musa mindset, as we call it.
So we're happy for your support. We're happy to have you along for the ride. We're happy to bring you this dynamic, intricate telling of a hero who, honestly, we can't say time forgot him, but he definitely didn't get his flowers. So we're here to do that. We're going to bring it to you, and we're happy to have your support on this campaign.
Well, there it is, my friends. What did you guys think?
I liked it. I mean, I've never heard of this guy, and I kind of consider myself a bit of a history buff, but I am intrigued. And dude, that one guy with the deep voice, holy shit, he should be doing the voiceover for for the next campaign. Holy shit. That is a hell of a message.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positive things to say here. Like, starting with like, even if you didn't know anything about TJ, I already know. Well, as soon as his face popped up, I was like, oh, that's why they're already doing so well. TJ used to work for Marvel, used to work for Dark Horse, and then he broke off and started his own book company, bringing that following with him, which is the way to do it. I mean, that's how all the big names that are in indie did it. They started off working for the big companies. But so despite that, taking that off the table, like, everything that you would want is in this message, right? He opened up with it being about, introducing themselves, but they kept it short.
Very short.
It didn't go on to like how I'm passionate about comics and we did this. It really quickly jumped into this book and why they made it. And then you really got into like all the things that we're looking for when we're going to back something. It's like, well, who are the characters? And he explained not only the different characters, but their relationship to each other and why they're at odds with each other and why they're fighting. And then it gets into, what the story is going to be. And then we talk about the rewards. And then it was a well put together thing that kept me engaged for the whole 3.5 minutes.
Absolutely. And there's even like future casting. This is just the first book. There are 5 total books. So you back with confidence. There is more to the story. This is just chapter 1. So I think these guys not only get it, but they pitch it very, very well, very eloquently put.
Yeah. And I think the last thing is that all along the way of this video, they had stellar artwork to back up what they're saying. Like, if I had just watched the two of them talking this entire time and didn't see it, it might not have kept my attention, but then they would cut to the artwork and I was like, oh, this is really well done. There's expressions, there's backgrounds, it's beautifully colored. There's some quality here. And so I can see why they're doing well. And so very impressive. And the thing is, you don't need to have a big team or a lot of special effects to do what they did to make a video like that. Yeah, Mr. Fish is right. Top-notch art doesn't hurt. Make sure if you're the writer of your book, the first thing you have is you put the quality into making sure the book looks good. A lot of times when we're starting off, we gotta, get what we can afford. And we think, all right, this is good. And you kind of, accept that this is going to be good enough, and then it's really, really not that great.
No, and I mean the green screen behind them, the art, the cuts, the sound effects. I mean, everything was thought out. It was laid out, and I can guarantee you they storyboarded it. They sat down, they thought about their message. It was quick, it was concise, it was unified, and you can tell that not only do they get each other, but they're passionate about the project, and it comes through.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, not only that, but like, I'm assuming one of the two of them was overseeing this. I mean, I think TJ is the president of the company, and so it might have been him. But obviously, these two people were not recording at the same time or at the same location, and so it was very clearly, I'm going to say this, and then this is your opportunity to say what you want to say. I'm going to cut that in here. And then we're going to put some art, and then you're going to speak again. And it was all kind of laid out and planned out. Very well done. Very well done. Let's see. Mr. Fish says, it always hurts me to see a creator with a "we tried" first issue and a pretty good issue 3 or 4. Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel that way sometimes about my own books because I've gotten so much better. When I go back and I look at the first issue, I'm like, I gave it my best at that point, but they just kept getting better. And so then it was like, I have been tempted so many times to go back and George Lucas my first issue and like, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward.
Always move forward. Never go back.
That's right. Back to this campaign. As you can see over on the left, they're taking advantage of the jump points. As you can see here, you can actually write in quite a bit. They have like a whole paragraph over there. We've got lots of information. I'm going to read this little bit right here. Historical fantasy epic, centuries in the making. Mansa Musa, the wealthiest man in history, steps off the pages of an epic tale of family, magic, and empire building as he embarks on a journey that will shape the destiny of an entire continent and quite possibly the world. A young Musa Kita, along with his brother Suleiman, served their uncle, the great King Abu Bakr. Musa as the sword of the empire, and Suleiman is its noble tactician and statesman. Through war and strategy, King Abu Bakr has begun the work of uniting all of the Abu Khan kingdom under one banner. But as a sinister force rises from the shadows, a new kind of evil threatens the Al-Qubulan and its people, one of the Abu Bakr's own making. For the proud and fierce Musa, his greatest challenge is yet to come. This kind of feels like a little like Black Panther sort of thing, like the rise of the king kind of story almost.
Yep.
Will he be able to thwart the machinations of the greedy and powerful, or will he fall to the pages of history? All right, right there, guys. This question.
That's perfect.
This is what you should be leaving your pitch with. You've told us the who and the what and what they're trying to achieve and what stands in their way. There's a sinister force rising from the shadow that's threatening all of its people. Will he be able to do this or will he not? If you cannot leave us with that question, then you haven't given us enough information. So again, great job, TJ. And then what are you funding? This goes into all the details. I thought they were very thorough in their videos, so I'm not going to read all of this. But I do want to see some more of the artwork.
Yeah, because I mean they covered this very, very clearly in the video.
Clearly and efficiently. Like it was not drawn out. I didn't like drone on about things. We have our characters here again, beautiful backgrounds, different camera angles. Yeah, really nice looking art. Lots of previews here. Again, this is what people want to see. They want to see shots from the book. They want to see what they're paying for. And when I look at this, I see quality, and I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely back that. I've always loved this. We see this every once in a while. These character profiles. It's definitely not usually the thing you want up at the top, but it's really nice to be able to dive into the characters a little bit before we buy the book. I think that's a really fun way to showcase it, having these character sheets.
Well, and there have been other campaigns where we've even suggested you should put like a character sheet. You should give us some kind of layout or some kind of visual. And I think where the placement is on this is very well utilized. They have really thought this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got this nice, consistent graphic design format for all of these different things with the spear and the background plate there, telling us what we're getting. And we start off with a digital reward. Actually, the $5 tier gets the equivalent of issue 1 of Musa, Lion, and Molly with this digital PDF that gives you the first chapter in the story, because this book is quite a bit longer. I forgot how many pages they said. It was like 120. So you're basically talking about 4 or 5 issues worth of comic, and they're giving you the first one there for the $5. So that's pretty awesome. And then you can get the entire 100-page book for $15, which has gotten a lot of backing. And then the printed copy is $30, and you get the digital copy with it. $30, you get a 100-page book and a digital copy. That's a great deal, which is why there's 75 backers on it.
Smart is what that is.
Yep.
That is brilliant.
There's a special Kickstarter edition. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's another great thing to do, is make it feel exclusive when people are on Kickstarter by making something that's only for them, because a lot of these people are going to turn around and try to put this book in stores. And so we want something that's just for us. I love that. Let's go down here to the bottom. We got 160, we got 200, we got 300, we got 400. $400. What do we get? The golden bundle. Want to be part of history? Well, then this reward is for you. Backing at this reward secures every single thing we offer in this campaign. Plus, you get your own character designed and inserted into the Musa, Lion, of Molly story. Your character will be custom created by one of the artisans of the book and added to book 2 of our story. Join us today. You also receive 2 Kickstarter exclusive t-shirts. Dude, $400 for all the books, all the covers, and be in the next book is a steal.
It's a bargain.
So I'm surprised more people have not jumped on that. We got a t-shirt bundle. We got a printed bundle. Another printed bundle. So yeah, there's some great stuff in here. Really well done. Bravo, TJ. If you're watching, or if you're watching later, really impressed. Really impressed.
Yeah, TJ,
this still got 20
top shelf.
So that has raised our bar quite a bit for this show, leaving us with one more campaign. Will they keep up with this one? Let's find out, shall we? So, jumping over here to the Wheel of Destiny one more time.
Baby, hit me one more time. I want to be baby, spin me one more time.
Are you singing Britney Spears for us?
I am, totally. Come on, baby, spin me one more time.
Yes. Where's the record deal, folks? We need producers over here. All right, here we go. The last and final spin of this week's episode. Number 3. Is it going to be Mystery? Or is it going to be... Oh, it looks like floaters.
Floaters.
Nobody
Nobody likes floaters.
It depends on what floaters we're talking about, I guess. So let's find out. Let me pull this one up over here. I don't know how I would do this without multi-screens.
Your command central over there.
I know. All right, I have 3 different screens going. All right, we're going to remove that one. We're going to jump over here and share this screen. Floaters. Here we have it. They have a goal of $2,000, which they have hit. So congratulations. $2,454 have been raised with 86 backers with 53 hours to go. This could be our last one. And Mr. Fish is with us. He says he did a cover on floaters.
Sweet.
Sweet indeed. All right. The top says Floaters is a body horror one-shot. So you're the horror fan. I've always kind of been curious, like, where does the line from horror to body horror hit? Like,
I mean,
when you say it's body horror, is it just like brutal mutilation of?
It could be. It could be just cringeworthy stuff. I mean, the first thing when you said body horror, the Reanimator came to mind. So right away, that's the visual that I have of, just mutilation, something, that's going to wreak havoc visually on a body. So I'm thinking zombies, I'm thinking mutilation, I'm thinking grisly, slasher style decapitations. I mean, if it's a body mutilation, there should at least be no less than a dozen decapitations. Just saying.
So that's the bar, huh?
That's the bar. At least a dozen decapitations. I mean,
all right. Well, right out of the gate, we see this picture of a guy with his eyeball missing. I feel like there's some brutal eye stuff going on in Mythica. Like Riley got her whole eye like tore out at one point in extreme detail. So. But I don't have enough decapitations to call it body.
You don't have enough Yours a vampire story, though. I mean, let's be honest. There's a difference. It's not,
So Magnus decapitated a vampire in the last issue with a piece of stair railing.
Ooh, that's a horrible way to go.
But because he's a vampire, it doesn't count.
No. That's how you kill a vampire. I mean,
you can decapitate as many vampires as you want. It's not body horror.
It's not body horror. No, it's
a
vampire story.
Got it. All right. You're helping me define the line here. I appreciate it, bro. All right.
Because how else do you kill a vampire?
That's
the
exactly
stake
right.
through the heart stuff. I mean, it's part of the lore. It's a vampire story. So you come to expect decapitations.
All right, let's get to it. Let's see what this video tells us.
Are you or someone you love experiencing eye floaters?
Doctors will tell you they're harmless, tiny clumps of vitreous gel drifting across your vision, a simple byproduct of aging. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Floaters aren't harmless. They're parasites, silent, patient invaders that burrow into your mind. They whisper, they command, they turn you against those you love until violence feels inevitable. If you've begun to see them, seek solitude. Those around you are no longer safe. Your thoughts are not your own.
Head.
Flee while you still can. Don't trust yourself, and whatever you do, don't trust your eyes. Floaters is a 28-page one-shot horror story chronicling one man's descent into madness after developing eye floaters. Written entirely in hospital waiting rooms between seemingly endless, painful tests, it captures the unease of losing control piece by piece. The book features haunting artwork by Dan Schmidt with colors by Maya Opasic, and the campaign also includes variant covers by Cesar Oliveira, William Russell and Fish Lee.
Woohoo!
Fish.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. I think that the video is nice and short and sweet. We were
I like the transition when he was like the art and then who's doing the color and he cuts to the color. And I thought that was very clever, very well
very
done.
nice
And
yes.
yeah, the audio is on point.
So do not read this book if details about eyeballs bothers you, because there seems to be a lot of it going on.
Oh my God, so much squeamy-ish. It was great.
So now we know what they mean by floaters. They were very descriptive in that. We know that it has they're little things that take over your mind.
Parasites.
Parasites.
It's a great idea.
I feel like if this is done well, it's gonna like leave you being freaked out when you go actually seeing those in your eyeballs later.
I mean, I put in contacts every day because I'm so vain. So I mean, now this could wreck me.
I just learned something about you. I did not know that.
Yep, every day.
All right. So over here, he's using the jump points. Great job, Ed. We've got the title here, the floaters. I like the custom title where the little floaters are like separating themselves from the text. That was nicely done, the graphic design there. And then he gets into describing, I think, the same things that he just said in the video. So he described it in the video pretty well. We don't need to read it again. And then we got these great images of what's going on. So I'm pretty clear about what I'm getting. I'm going to be getting a pretty body horror book. I have a good idea of the premise with the eye floaters and somebody's descent into madness who is experiencing this. We also know that it's a 28-page one-shot horror. So again, being clear on what it is and what we're getting. So I'm liking all of that stuff so far. And some specs we see drifting across our vision. Dan Schmidt. So all that stuff's the same as the video. Then we've got our covers. Davish black and white variant. Look at that. You got two different variants there.
Nice.
There's another decapitated head there.
There's two. That's two so far.
Then we got the short print variant. And then we've got the William Russell variant.
That's pretty.
And then Fish's variant is a holofoil.
Nice.
Which pays homage to the Fright Night film.
Yep.
Look at
Good
that.
call. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
So again, like I was saying at the beginning, this artist is out there and he's available. So go hit him up. Very good, very good. Hashtag epic truth from Turk. All right. I like the hole on the ceiling patched with the tires.
Mm-hmm. You might be a redneck.
Yep. So we got the Immortal Era. So there's some other things that can come with it. The softcover trade of his other book, Immortal Era. The hardcover edition. So another thing called Corruptor, Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales. So basically all the other books that they worked on is part of this. I don't know if they're in the add-on section or what. We got some sneak peek pages here. Did we already see that decapitated head? Or is that...
I think that's third. I think there's another one. I think so.
All right.
See?
We're getting there. Definitely got the body horror going. All right, and what's this button here? This button here says Operation Gratitude. I want to see what that's all about. Operation Gratitude. We will once again be donating books through Operation Gratitude. For this tier, you will be purchasing books to donate to soldiers deployed overseas. And they can read about floaters and body horror and decapitated heads. In this tier, you'll not receive the book. Instead, the books will be sent to soldiers through Operation Gratitude. For each purchase of this tier, we'll send a matching donation in order to get as many books as possible to our troops. In our last campaign, we sent 18 copies and 18 copies of Immortal Era, a total of 36 books. I'm hoping to send over 50 this time.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know where you're going to donate those. I don't think those would be appropriate for school. Just saying.
No, I think they're just going to the soldiers.
This is great.
So that's pretty cool. I like that's included in there.
Mhm.
So you have a tier where you can go through and buy books for soldiers instead of yourself. That's pretty cool. Then we've seen this on a very few campaigns, but I always love it. This is where the money's being spent. You can see over about half of it is just artist fees. Those damn artists, they're always taking all the money. Over a quarter of it is printing fees, shipping fees, stretch goals, merchandise. That's a great thing to have. It lets people know what you're doing. And that kind of transparency makes people feel comfortable about what they're getting into. So great
Well, it
job.
just adds certain legitimacy to the campaign. I mean, let's just be honest. That gives the warm feels to, other people.
All right, we got the digital is $5. There's a whopping 29 people already on board for that. I think digitals are more and more popular these days. Then we got the black and white one that's $5, but no one's jumped on that board with that. I'll tell you what, Ed, I ran into the same problem. I did a variant cover that was just black and white, and it didn't do all that well either. I don't know why that is. Maybe you guys can put some insight on that. But we have the same thing here. We got the standard cover for 16, 26 backers. The black and white, 1. So why is that, you guys think? No. All right, then we got all these different variants being purchased. Very cool. Look at that. 8 different backers at $31 a pop for Fish Lee.
Nice.
They must really love that guy. And you too can have art by him if you contact him now.
He is a legend. He is a gem.
All right, let's go see all the way at the bottom what the big tier is. All right, everything in the kitchen sink bundle, $380. You'll receive a physical and digital copies of all 5 floaters covers, along with a t-shirt in the size of your choice. Well, that's good. I don't want a small. You'll also receive the original art cover by Dan Schmidt, the original art. And you receive a yellow label CGC 9.8 graded copy of the Rocket Con exclusive cover of Immortal Era #1. So one of their other books. So all that stuff for $380. So you get an original cover art, all the books. That's a great deal. And it's still available. There's only one of those. Better jump on it.
Wow, I'm surprised that's still sitting for whale tier. That's really good.
Yeah. I love the idea of a black and white cover, but if they don't actually move. Exactly. I think it was issue 7 that I did the black and white cover, and it took me a long time to finally move all the copies that I had of it. Like the other ones would sell really quick. But all right, that brings a conclusion to our 3 campaigns that we've been reviewed. Now it brings us to a hard choice. Is it
very hard choice?
Musa or floaters? Because let's be honest, we're probably not going to be voting for Kringle, right? Sorry, buddy.
No.
You got to have more content for me to back that. So that brings us down to 2. And honestly, Ed, I've seen your other campaigns. You've been on the show. You've watched it. You've been on lots of other shows. You got your own show going now. It's been a pleasure to watch your growth. And this campaign is the most polished I've ever seen your campaign. So Mr. Fish says, I already backed both, so I'm no help. I get it. All right. So, it's a tough call. We got to decide, though. So, do we support the one that is so well polished and has this great art, but has already raised like $12,000, or do we support the little guy who has got everything together and it's just trying to make ends meet? Tough call.
Tough call, Biden.
Man, I'm taking a second. I'm taking a second here to concentrate.
Take a second. Yeah, I know. And in the meantime,
I've made up my decision.
You made up your decision. Okay.
Yeah. I just got to write it down now.
Okay. Take your time.
Take your time.
Take your time. In your time, sir. I'm just sitting here drinking coffee. It's fine. I'm fine.
All right. I'm ready. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready. I don't have my usual flair stuff. I'm in the midst of moving and putting stuff in different places, hence the different background this weekend. So I don't have my normal accoutrement. So I have to make do.
All right. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's hit the drum roll. This is what I got. Oh, we're going to the wheel. Going to the wheel. All right. I'll tell you real quick why I had to make that call. I was impressed with both of these. The Musa book is very professional. I would buy it instantly off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I gave an extra piece of credit to Ed because they're professionals. You know, they got a professional team. They know what they're doing. They've done this before. He worked for Marvel. He worked for Dark Horse. And so, yeah, he did everything right, but he has the resources and the people to make it right. And so even though I would look at it as a template of how to do things right, I had to give credit to Ed for pulling it together on his own.
Ed has done a remarkable job. I don't know who he's listening to, probably us. But I mean, he has he has seen the path, and it is glorious. Everything is so well executed, and I again, like you said, I would pick up both off the shelf. That is the best. That's the best compliment I can give an indie book. I would pick it up off the shelf. It's just what was the deciding factor for me was a 3-minute video that didn't feel like 3 minutes. That was the clincher, okay? Because it was impressive, and short attention span theater over here. I was full prepared when they started going in the bios. I'm like, okay, here comes the tap out. 3 minutes went by so smoothly, so eloquently put that that is what closed it. And again, you're up to 4 decapitations. That's a win in my book right there. But I can't not think about 3 minutes that went by in a blink. And I think it was Fish that watched the video twice, and in us sitting here. So,
yep. I mean, I hear you. I give credit to all that. I mean, this was a tough choice, but as we do when we don't know and we have different answers, we let fate decide. So let's go over to the Wheel of Destiny and find out who will be our chosen one for today. Are you ready?
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. Here we go. Ed, are you ready? Here it is. Our final winner for today's show is going to be, looks like, Musa wins. All right, Ed, you're still a winner in my book.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go back yours anyway, but
I think we'll be backing both of those regardless.
Yep. All right. Congratulations, Ed. Congratulations, TJ, for Musa. You guys did a fantastic job on these. Great choices all around. Dirk, sorry your book didn't make it. I don't know how much time you got left on yours, but I'm sure that it's doing well. Your books are always doing well. Thank you for watching. If you would like to support this show and like us to keep watching it, be sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of people just watch the show and they haven't subscribed, but that subscribing gets us into the monetization category. We can start actually making some money, and maybe I can get me a new super producer since I don't have Ray, and I don't have to try and push all these buttons on my own. You can also support this channel and support me by going to actionlinestudios.com and checking out the books of Mythica that I have, the art books that I have. By the way, I'm cooking up an art book. I've decided to just wait until spring or at least January rather than try to launch it in December. But I'm cooking up a naughty and nice version of my art book. So there's actually 2 different books that can be purchased. And that's coming soon to a campaign near you.
Put me down for the naughty. Just saying.
Yeah. So if you want to be part of that, make sure and get on the email list at my website or support me there. And Smurf, where can they find you and all your accolades and see us out?
Come and check us out at 5280geek.com, 5280geek on Facebook, Instagram, and available on all your podcasting platforms as Weekend Geek Updates or 5280geek. We have a engaging podcast, nerd-dumb stuff like that. Don't forget to come and see us if you're in the Colorado Springs area for the Chapel Hills Mall. Matt will be feverishly signing and arting and swinging.
Before you see us out, I just forgot that I didn't mention our sponsors. So without going into the entire video, please check out our sponsor, Gemini Studios. Gemini Mailers, I believe it is Gemini Comic Supply. That's what it is. Gemini Comic Supply. I'm trying to find the link, but again, I need my super producer. There's just too many buttons to push.
No, and they have an amazing program. You can set up something with them that they will let warehouse your books and mail out for you. And the program that Gemini Comic Book Mailers has set up for the indie guy at heart, by all means, please go check out their website. They're amazing, and I can't. Nothing makes me feel happier when I get my comic in a Gemini mailer. I know it's going to be okay.
Exactly.
Thanks, and on that bombshell, we shall say goodbye. In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.